Just going to do a quick sound check. Yep, perfect. I'll jump into a party. How are we all this morning? We are live for round 17 here in the Circuit of the Americas. How's Bradson? It's okay, mate. Working. This is my only day off, actually. Yeah, how come you can't race? Potential rain in the race and Formula I. Nice to see you back on the grid as well. I've got no sound to the game, so just bear with me. Is that me? 1 second. What's going on, Kev? There we go. So Umbra Ghost is out. There is a driver just in front of him. I think that is Vicious Vicar in the Williams out on them soft compounds. Super Skills and Pods, the only two to muscle into the medium compounds. So down in towards turn 12 for the Williams driver. He is going to be the first one to set us a lap here in Texas. I know, Kev, really unfortunate, mate. Potential rain in the race is going to make this a very interesting Grand Prix. Around turn 16 and 17, we go on board with Vicious Vicar in the Williams, down in towards turn 19 at the Grand Plaza, and then in towards turn 20. You've got COTA Boulevard just outside of the track to the right hand side, and then down to the line. Here we go, Vicious Vicar, DRS enabled, and he'll burn a little bit of that battery out of turn 20, up the hill slightly in towards turn 1 at the left-hander. He will hug the apex really nice and tight. Back onto the throttle as we go down towards turn 2, as he just rides the curve to the right hand side in towards the S's. 3, 4, 5 and 6. They come at you very quickly indeed, and a little bit of traffic in front as we go in towards turn 9 and 10. We'll go slightly back downhill now towards turn 11, where that DRS will kick in. And Vicious Vicar being extra cautious through there, and then that rear wing will open as we hit that DRS activation point, and then around 202 miles an hour we'll slam onto that brake pedal in towards turn 12, and then as he tries to keep hold of that Williams around turn 13 and 14. This is a tricky one. Turn 15, you've got to get it right. If you go in a little too deep or a little too wide, it can really compromise your exit, and it'll cost you a lot of time on your lap. Around turn 18 in towards turn 19, and that's a nice line through there for Vicious Vicar. He'll stay out as much as he can to the right hand side, a little bit deep, but it's not too bad for the Williams driver, and it's a 1:35.7 for Vicious Vicar. There's a couple of drivers now coming out towards the line as they put in their laps, one of them being DMB Super Skills, who will start his lap. What's going on, Bulldog? How we doing? And James in the Haas goes P2 as Umbra Ghost goes fastest in Q1. Remember, only 2 drivers will be eliminated in this first part of qualifying. Umbra goes fastest, NMX James in P2 and Vicious Vicar in P3 in that Williams. Forza Ferrari with a considerably slower lap in the Aston Martin with a 1:36.0, nearly 2.3 seconds off the fastest time so far. Then we have one Kidney Jim in that Racing Bull just coming through the S's as he sets the fastest time in Sector 1. The Aston Martin of Ifney and then Real Aston Army back on the grid in that Mercedes as he goes purple Sector 2. So, Real Ashton Army coming up towards turn 20 and then down towards the start-finish line. He came up really early there, but it goes P3 with a 1:35.1. Nimble Cat in the Ferrari down towards turn 11 in that Scuderia. And hoping for a good result with his former teammate of Formula Rai. You've got Podge, the championship rival. Where is Theo? Oh, Theo's not racing. Wow. This is huge for Podge. DMB Super Skills in that Red Bull on the mediums. A 1:35.0. He is not playing around. He is third in the Drivers' Championship. His best season to date. One Kidney Jim in the Racing Bull takes it right out of his hands with a 1:34.9. So the VCAB driver safely, potentially safely through into Q2. Nimble Cat coming down towards turn 19 now, just hugs the apex, back onto the throttle, slightly uphill. He's got a lot of battery to burn to the line. He comes really short on the entrance to turn 20, down to the start-finish line. It's P10 and in front of SRL Matt. Formula Rai, his teammate, coming in towards turn 11. And the Scuderia driver. I just need to make sure we've got the Real Ashton Army on my timing sheets, just bear with me. No, we don't, but he has raced it before. So, 1 second. There we go. So, Formula Rai coming in towards turn 19. And he's invalidated it. He went wide there, and I'm hopeful that it's not invalidated his next run. It hasn't, because it was turn 19 and not 20. You can actually invalidate it on the exit of turn 19 and it still invalidate the lap after. It just depends where you do it. But Formula Rai is going to have to go again with 10 minutes to go. Mad Riot, Bulldog, Cinders, NDMV and Doug all yet to set a lap time. Doug is about to come through though as he comes around turn 15 and 16. Yellow flags waving. That might just be a driver getting out of the way. Into 19 for Doug in the Alpine, and you can see how much he's trying to hold on to that Formula 1 car as he comes around the final couple of corners down to the line, and it's P10 for Doug in the Alpine. My, how are we this morning? Formula Rai has invalidated it again. The Real Ashton Army has retired in the pit lane. He says that's enough. I am safely through. Formula Rai will be really frustrated with the two invalidated laps. NDMV and Cinders both out at the moment. Cinders just moving out of the way, I think, of his teammate coming through. He is. So just doesn't want to hinder his teammate at all. Bulldog also on an outlap, just coming through the S's of sector 1. We have 9 minutes to go. 2 drivers will be eliminated in this first part of qualifying. Umbra Ghost tops the list at the moment. NMX James in the Haas in P2, and then Podge in the McLaren in P3. One Kidney Jim and Super Skills in P4 and P5, and then Ifni in the Aston Martin in P6. A former Tier 3 world champion, that is Ifni in P6. Forza Ferrari in the other Aston Martin down in P9, and then you have Doug and Nimble Cat. Can they improve? As I said, 2 drivers will be eliminated in this first part of qualifying. So Nimble Cat backs out. NDMV is on a lap. Formula Rai is going to go again. So this is it. He will. Remember, he's had no practice. Didn't know he was racing till quite late on. NDMV is just behind him on a lap, but it will be Formula Rai first as he comes in towards turn 12. And the Scuderia driver with nothing to lose here in COTA 8 minutes remaining to get a decent lap on the board. It is great to see him back on this tarmac. So, Formula Right, Forza Ferrari did get a little bit of front wing damage when he was last out on track. But here we go in towards turn 19 for the Scuderia Ferrari, and then into the pit lane we go. Oh, he's missed it. Wow, that was close. 7.5 minutes to go, and Formula Rai just nearly ended his first qualifying session in 6 weeks into the wall. That was very lucky indeed. NDMV went up to P4 in that Racing Bull as all that drama was unfolding on board with that Ferrari, and that was a little too close for comfort for Formula Rai. So Bulldog in the Mercedes will be next. Comes around turn 19, slightly uphill towards turn 20. And then in towards the start-finish line. And it is P2 for SRL Bulldog. And Cinders in the McLaren went up to P8 as well. He should be safely through with that time. Formula Right invalidated it, obviously trying to go into the pit lane. Mad Riot is now finally on an outlap with 6.5 minutes of this first qualifying session remaining. 2 drivers will be eliminated. No, don't worry about it, Hasbros, you're all good. Only because it'll mess up the standings because you are a full-time Ferrari driver. What's going on, girls? How are we? So, Mad Riot, we will stay on board with the Williams driver and see what he can do. So, around turn 3, 4 and 5. In towards turn 6 and then the left-hander at turn 7. Well, yeah, thank you, Haz. Through turn 8 and 9. And then you want to get your foot back down over the apex at turn 10 at the left-hander. Slightly downhill and in towards the left-handed hairpin at turn 11. This is where you'll get all your speed back onto the throttle, burning that battery. That DRS will kick in about a quarter of the way down. And then it is just pedal to the metal for the Williams driver in towards turn 12 at the Bleachers Grandstand. And then he just wants to hold on to that Williams. It's a purple sector 2. I tell you, some of these drivers might be a little worried. I'm thinking of Real Aston Army in that Mercedes. He's probably done enough, but you never know. Around turn 16 and 17 for Mad Riot. And then he'll go to over the curb at turn 19. And then you go into that little dip in the road. And around turn 20. This is the tricky bit because you can lose the back end so easily. And it is P5 for Mad Riot. And his teammate, his father, in P12. SRL Matt in the Haas still trying to improve. Bulldog retires, says that's enough qualifying for Q1. 4.5 minutes remaining, and it is Formula I in P17. The 2 Ferraris definitely at the risk of being the 2 drivers that go out here, but SRL Matt needs to find something a little extra if he wants to get into Q2. So Forza Ferrari is back out. He is 4 tenths up as he goes down towards turn 15. And it's such like it's a very slow entrance into turn 15, but then you've just got to get your foot down on the exit and try and build up that momentum and that speed. Around turn 19 for the Aston Martin driver. Oh, and you can see the snap there from Forza Ferraris. He's just trying to hold on. And then the snap again of the rears, and Forza did improve by 8 tenths of a second. What would it have been had he not have made them 2 mistakes? Doug in the Alpine is also now on an outlap, so is Nimuka and his teammate of Formula Rai. SRL Matt is still in the pit lane with just over 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Umbra Ghost on the mediums is on another lap, and Podge, the championship contender improved by half a second. It's a 1:34.4 in this first part of qualifying. It is full qualifying. So Mad Riot ends his participation in Q1, and we are going to ride on board with Formula Rai again to see what he can do. It's nervy moments for the Ferrari driver. He's still on the mediums as he comes through the S's, so he is not willing to risk another set of soft compounds, or any set of soft compounds for that, around turn 9 and 10, and then down towards turn 11. Is it going to be enough? You can tell the practice just hasn't been there for the Ferrari. Umber Ghost on the mediums, a 1:33.5 for the Alpine driver. And he is absolutely empty in the tank here, Formula Rai. Down in towards turn 12, slams on the brake pedal, and then through the left-hander. It is Purple Sector 2, and I'm not surprised with the way that he emptied that tank down the straight. Forza Ferrari also retires, but he's got that safety net of Real Aston Army behind him. SRL Matt is going to have to find something spectacular if he wants to see that second part of qualifying here in the Circuit of the Americas. SRL Matt in the Haas. Nimble Cat just starting his lap. Doug is 7 tenths up. He is coming. Here comes Formula Rai as well. Has he done enough to get a lap on the board? He has. He goes up to P8 and he's got 2 drivers behind him who cannot set laps. So he is safe. Doug in the Alpine will be next. Is he safely through into Q2? He is, and just in front of Forza Ferrari. And I said the drivers were leaving it in a very sketchy position. You've got Vicious Vicar still to go. Vicious Vicar is still in the pit lane. He's not going to make it out. Vicious Vicar might find himself eliminated here, but we don't know. Here's Nimblecat and SRL Matt. Nimblecat will have to get round and get another lap on the board. He's got just under a minute to do so. Is that... I thought I've just seen sprinkles of rain falling there. So, yeah, Vicious Vicar is not going to have enough time to go again. So it is all on Matt and Nimblecat. There's other drivers improving. One of them being One Kidney Jim up to P3. And then Nimblecat in the Ferrari. SRL Matt is half a second up. It's only going to put him in the 1:38s. Vicious Vicar, although he's on the brink of elimination, might actually be safe here. Yeah, Nimblecat is not going to make it to the line. That is it. SRL Matt and Nimblecat look to be the 2 drivers in the Haas and the Ferrari that will be eliminated in Q1. And Vicious Vicar, unbelievably, is safely through into Q2. So here comes Matt. He does keep it valid, incredibly. But yeah, the time has dwindled away. And the Welshman is out in P17. Nimblecat will be bitterly disappointed with that qualifying session. He knows he's capable of better. We know he's capable of better. And he was up 2 tenths through Sector 1 as well. Had he have been able to keep that 2 tenths, he would have ultimately gone into Q2 and in front of Vicious Vicar. Nimble's opportunity to get himself a brew, and Matt now. And just wait for the rest of this qualifying session to play out. Hey, Rai, you've done well there, P9 in Q1. So we do still have Podge on a lap. He's just coming round. He'll be the final driver to the line. He'll be happy with P4. His championship rival is not on the grid here this morning. And there we have it. The first part of qualifying is over. And we'll move on to Q2. So in Q1 it is Umbra Ghost in the Alpine that takes the fastest lap. It is the Mercedes of Bulldog in P2, and then NMX James, the 3 fastest in qualifying. Then comes Podge, and then the Red Bull of Super Skills in P5. Wonky Jim, Ifney, Mad G, NDMV, Formula Rai, Cinders, Doug Forza, Ferrari, Mercedes in P14. That is the real Aston Martin. Let me just put that in. And then Vicious Vicar, Nimbuka, and SRL Matt. Yeah. Nimble. I'm just glad he's not here with a broken toe. He'd have probably got into Q2. No, just kidding. Mike has gone funny right 2 seconds. Let me just do a quick sound check. I don't know why it does that. So into Q2 we go. 15 drivers all bidding to make it into the top 10. And we see a bit of movement from a few of the garages here. I mean, I'd say half the grid are already on the way out. 2 of them are fighting on the exit. That is Bulldog and Mad G that are fighting for position on track already. So remember guys, if you are looking at any sim racing setups, make sure you check out the link in the chat. You can get your own setups for F1 25, F1 24, Assetto Corsa, maybe even Assetto Corsa Rally that is soon to drop in November. Use the code F7R on checkout and you'll get 5% off. I will have a look at that in a minute. 1 second. Is that better? And then if you want to purchase anything from Fanatec, you can use our link below and we get 5% of any sale, which just goes back into the league, which is great for us. So Bulldog will be the first to take us around a lap here in COTA. I'm just going to do a quick sound check, make sure that everything sounds okay. So, Bulldog on a lap. I'm going to just turn it down just 1 on the audio. Just see if that helps. So Mad G's actually gone in front of Bulldog. He said, I'm not waiting for him. So the Williams driver just comes out of turn 11 down the DRS straight. And he's actually not using any battery, so he's not on a flying lap at the moment, I don't think, for the Williams driver. Neither is the Mercedes, so we will go on board with Formula Rai in the Ferraris on the medium compound tyre, down in towards turn 12 as he hits the apex. And he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. is on the only driver out on track on the mediums. Every other driver out on the softs. They're not playing around in this second part of qualifying. Yellow flags are waving. That'll be drivers just moving out of the way. Cinder's yet to exit the pit lane. Here comes Formula I. He's got that traffic in front of him. Has the Mercedes seen him? He does at the last minute and moves out of the way. So just spots him coming. And then out of turn 20, Mad Ryder 135.8, and it is Formula I a 134.8, a second quicker, and Umbra Ghost a 133.4, goes quickest again as he did in Q1. Mad Ryder, remember, did not use any of his batteries, so he will go again, probably just lowering the fuel and making that car that little bit faster. Super Skills in the Red Bull up to P2, and then One Kiddie Jim in the Racing Bull in P3. NDMV, the man from Vietnam, is into P2. And his teammate in P4. The Racing Bulls look very quick this morning. Mad Riot and Vicious Vicar, the father and son duo in P6 and P7. And then Doug in the Alpine. We do have NMX James coming through. That is Ifnir in the Aston Martin that slides around turn 15. And on to the grass he goes. NMX James will go again. Did he invalidate it at the final corner? So Podge, the championship rival, went up to P2. And that should get him in to Q3. NDMV and Super Skills as well. One Kiddie Jim, Formula I, Real Aston Army goes up to P7 in that Mercedes. And then the two Williams drivers, Mad Riot and Vicious Vicar, in P8 and P9. Just let me know if the mic's okay as well, guys. Is Forza Ferrari going again? He's not using any of his battery, and he will head into the pit lane. Cinder's still yet to come out. Alright, cheers, Nimble. So NMX James had to go again. He's got the battery with that special livery on the Haas, that United States livery for their home Grand Prix. So around turn 19, and then slightly uphill towards turn 20, and then he'll just get his foot down, empty the tank, DRS enabled, and NMX James goes up to P3. What about Doug in the Alpine? He's invalidated it. Bulldog is back on an outlap in that Mercedes. He's currently in P15. Ifnir and Cinders, the other two drivers, yet to set a lap with 8.5 minutes of this second qualifying session remaining. Umbra Ghost just put in a purple sector 2, and he's 1.5 tenths up. Around turn 15. Oh, and he's lost the back. But he might still be on for a decent lap here. On them older soft compounds, he was 1.35 tenths up on his lap until that slip out down to the line. It still looks good though. It is a 1:33.3, and he does improve on his lap time. So the Mercedes, around turn 1 and 2 we go. Real Aston Army's retired again. That's the second time he's done that. He was very fortunate to get into Q2, but you've got some really good drivers still yet to set lap times. I don't think a 1:34.8 is going to be a safe lap time, but we shall see. So out of turn 11, that DRS enabled, and the Mercedes AMG Petronas driver down in towards turn 12, dropping it down to second gear, and back onto the throttle up to third, fourth, and then fifth, and then back onto that brake pedal. as he just tries to keep control of that Mercedes car, and then around turn 15 through second gear as well, and then back up, and then you can just go flat out now around the long right-hander. That is turn 17 and 18 down towards turn 19. You need to get this right. You can easily invalidate your lap. A couple of drivers getting ready. And down to the line, and it is P2, a 1:33.4 for him. So Forza, Cinders and Ifney now all out on track. Forza invalidated it. He's leaving this very late with 6 minutes to go. Cinders in the Papaya McLaren. As he hits the apex of turn 12. I think the one good thing that Cinders can take away from this season is the improvement that he's shown on track and the pace that he's grown week after week. And then if in the Aston Martin has backed out after invalidating, it's very easy to do. Here in Austin, you've got the S's that sort of mirror Maggots and Beckett, but that little bit harder to navigate through. And Cinders goes up to P10, so he just about sneaks in to Q3 at the moment. And Forza Ferrari, that might be another invalidation. Yeah, he's into the pit lane, the Aston Martin driver. His teammate also invalidates it. Doug, Vicious Vicar and Mad G. Mad G is the only one leaving the pit lane as he's halfway round his outlap. So we'll determine the top 10 drivers to go into Q3 in 4 minutes time, and that's a driver just trying to get out of the way. Luckily Mad Right is not on a lap, but he's about to be. Here we go. I'm sure, is Mad Right a tier 3 world champion as well? I've got a feeling he is. So through the S's we go. That's a nice line through there from the Williams. That was really neat. So on the exit, that was very smooth from the Williams driver, and look how far how far right he is, so that he can get the left turn in towards turn 12. The better exit, the better entrance means a better exit, and that is Podge up to P3 and Formula Rye into P4. Mad Rye is 1.7 up. Real Aston Army and Cinders very much at risk of being eliminated in Q2. So around turn 16 and 17. Through turn 18 and then down in towards the final two chicanes. Up towards turn 20 for the Williams driver. And Mad Riot with a pretty cool, calm and collected lap puts him up to P4. And Mad Riot should be safely through with 2.5 minutes to go. Doug in the Alpine just starting his final run on them soft compounds. And this is the tricky bit. You've sort of, if you don't feel it at all and you don't feel the car and you can't get the grip down, you've got to release off that throttle, and it just costs so much time. Around turn 10 and the Alpine in towards turn 11. He is 4 attempts up through that first sector, which is really good for him. But he's got to find something special through this middle sector. That DRS kicking back in. And he just burns the battery until about halfway down for Doug. around turn 12. And that is a purple sector 2. He's 1.3 up. This is going to put him around a 1:34.9, which is very close to the time of the Mercedes. If he can get a really good sector 3 as well, this will put him around one Kidney Jim, around 1:34.6. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do that. Around turn 19 and up towards 20. Has Doug left enough out there to get him into the final part of qualifying, down to the line? And he does, a 1:34.1. And it is a phenomenal sector 3 for the Alpine driver, and he's up to P7. Forza Ferrari is going again. Mad Riot retires. Real Aston Army is the first driver eliminated from this second part of qualifying. One Kidney Jim in the Racing Bull, just coming down that DRS straight, just behind Forza Ferrari. Both of them at risk here with 30 seconds to go, but Forza is a second up. That's a 1:35.3. It would put him just in front of Cinders, but if he carries on improving through sector 3, and he cannot make mistakes like that if he wants to get through. NDMV up to P6. Around turn 19, up towards 20 for the Aston Martin driver. And he has another snap out of there, and up to P11 he is out. Forza Ferrari is out. Ifney will be next. Vicious Vicar is in the pit lane again, and he is out. So Forza, Ashton and Vicar is out in Q2. You've got Cinders and Ifney bidding to get through. Super Skills is on the brink, but he is improving on his lap. Doug, nowhere to go for him now. He's just got to hope and pray that he can get into the final 10. So Ifney will be first. Super Skills is 6/10 up. He is absolutely flying. That is why he is third in the Drivers' Championship. Into turn 19. Up towards turn 20 for the Red Bull. The checkered flag has waved, and Super Skills goes P5. And Ifney in the Aston Martin. Doug will wait patiently to see if he's done enough, and he has. Ifney didn't do it. It is all on Cinders, and he's not through. Doug has made it through by a 1/10 of a second. Both Aston Martins eliminated in this second part of qualifying. Cinders in the McLaren is out, and so is Vicious Vicar. Not sure what's going on in this qualifying session for the Williams driver. So we move on to the final part. Bosh. What is it? Top 10. Yeah, it's tough in it around here. Yeah, Forza that. The overstay is crazy. So Umbra Ghost is the fastest in Q2 again. He is looking extremely confident for that pole position, but it can all change. Bulldog in at P2, and then you have Podge in P3, Mad G in P4, Super Skills in P5. Just writing this down. P6 is Formula I, NDMV, One Kidney Jim, NMX James, Doug, Ifney, Forza, Cinders, Real Aston Army and Vicious Vicar. So Vicious Vicar in the Williams, Real Aston Army in the Mercedes, Cinders in the McLaren, and then the two Aston Martins of Forza Ferrari and Ifney all eliminated in Q2. So we move on to the business end of qualifying. Q3 is here. 12 minutes to determine who will start on pole position for this morning's race. Who will it be? Yeah, nimble, Maggie, looking quick. So the drivers are back out. It is Bulldog once again who will be first. So, the Mercedes getting ready for his run here in Q3. So let's ride on board him with the full lap. So, out of the final chicane, up towards turn 1, we'll go slightly uphill. It's a really tricky corner because you get to the top of the hill and then you immediately turn left, and it's very easy to oversteer out of there. And you've just got to hold that car, and then through the S's we go. You can go through here full throttle, but you've got to time it to perfection. You cannot make any mistakes. You cannot go early. You cannot go late. It needs to be right in the middle. So around turn 9 and then over the apex at turn 10. Down in towards turn 11. And that DRS will kick in. He'll burn the battery till the activation point, which comes up around a quarter of the way down the straight. And then the rear wing opens, giving him that extra bit of pace. And he'll slam on the brakes to hit that 12th chicane. And then around turn 13. It's such an interesting circuit because you've got the pace, you've got the straight line speed that you obviously need, but then you need to slow it down to go through sector 3. So yeah, and that's where you see a lot of the drivers struggling with the oversteer and the understeer and the grip levels, because they're essentially building the car for the straights, but then they've got to tone it down a little bit for that final sector. So the Mercedes, a 1:33.6 is a fantastic benchmark for him. Super Skills in the Red Bull will be coming. One Kidney Jim, a 1:33.5. This is getting tasty. Here comes Podge, a 1:33.6. And then Super Skills goes provisional pole, a 1:33.4 for the Red Bull driver. The Alpine of Umbragos, who's topped the charts on both sessions, does it again in the third session. And it's a 1:33.0 from the Alpine of Umbragos, who goes provisional pole here in COTA. So, NDMV and Formula I on outlaps. Sorry, guys. Oh. So, Formula I in the Ferrari. He's looking pretty quick, the Ferrari driver, on his return back to the grid. It is looking a little bit cloudier though. And somebody did mention that rain was due in the race. I think everybody in Formula 7 Realistic is hoping that we don't get another rainy race. We had 5 in a row. So Formula I coming around turn 19 and then up the hill towards the final corner. Out of turn 20. I think rain's going to come. He goes P2. Formula I is on the provisional front row. From P2 to P6 are separated by 0.2 of a second. Mad Riot is now on an outlap. And my worry is that before these drivers can get to the line, there might be trickles of rain that start to fall on the tarmac. So Mad Riot just pulling out of his outlap. Is he trying to burn a little bit of fuel there? Oh, he's just moving out of the way of the Ferrari. So Umbragosu has been very quick in the first 2 qualifying sessions, delivers again. So he is on another lap, I think, here. Formula I is into the pit lane, 4 minutes to go. So Mad Riot is on a lap and he's gone purple sector 1. Has he left his best run till last? So down the straight we go. DRS kicks in. Can the Williams do enough? We shall see. So Mad Riot goes P5. NMX James in the Haas will be next. He's just coming through sector 3 now. We have just over 2 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. And then that is it. We will have the race that you have all been waiting for around turn 19. Up the hill towards turn 20. The Haas driver, can he go anywhere near the top of this grid? We're about to see. And NMX James goes P8. It is not enough. Doug starts his final run. NDMV will come up towards the line. And he will try and take it away from Umberghost. It is so close. 2 tenths separate P2 to P7. But then Umberghost is so far ahead here in COTA. It's obviously a very strong track for him. So NDMV down towards turn 12. Just under a minute of this qualifying session to go. In towards turn 13 and 14 we go. The Racing Bull. We know what NDMV is capable of. Out of turn 15 we go. Around turn 16 and then 17. Through turn 18. Down in towards the penultimate corner at turn 19. Up the hill to the final corner at turn 20. 20 seconds remain. Out of the final chicane, down to the line. NDMV goes P2. It's provisional front row. And 2 tenths separate P2 to P8. It is so close. Doug is coming through sector 1. NMX James is going to go again. Pod's the championship contender coming through sector 1. Mad Riot cannot improve. Bulldog is 3 tenths up. The Mercedes driver, up the hill he goes. This is going to be very close to the front row. Might even be close to pole position. Down to the line. Bulldog takes P2 a 1:33.1. And it is the front row. Formula Rye in the Scuderia will be next. In towards turn 20. He's currently in P4. Is he improving to the line? Formula Rye goes provisional pole. A 1:32.9 from the Ferrari driver. Incredible. Podge is slightly up. What can the McLaren do? Around turn 17 and then 18. Formula Rye is on at pole position. The McLaren will be next. His championship rival is not here. Down to the line and Podge goes P4. That's not a bad qualifying session at all for him. And that is Umberghost, a 1:32.7. And he's taken pole position away from Formula Rye. They've notched it up a gear. And the gap is evident now. And it is Super Skills that goes up to P4. NDMV cannot do any more. NMX James has invalidated it. And Doug is into the pit lane. Umberghost has taken pole position here in the Circuit of the Americas for the Texas Grand Prix. So let's go through your race standing. So Umberghost takes pole position by me back in P2. It is the Mercedes of Bulldog in P3. P4 is Super Skills in the Red Bull on the second row of the grid. On the third row of the grid it's Podge in P5. And then NDMV in the V-Carb in P6. It's his teammate of One Kidney Jim on the fourth row of the grid in P7. And then Mad Riot in the Williams alongside him in P8. On the fifth row of the grid, it's NMX James in the Haas in P9, and then Doug L in the Alpine alongside him. That completes your top 10 for the Texas Grand Prix. So we know what the issue was with Vicious Vicar in qualifying, is that he's not loaded his setup. Made it in time, Ryan, absolutely. Drivers all getting ready. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. Super Skills is back on the grid with cold tyres. And Umbragos went a little bit wide into turn 1. Let's have a look at the tyres. So the front two are starting on hard compounds. Then you've got the rest of the grid, barring Doug, on the mediums. No feel, Ryan. He's not racing this morning. Super Skills on the toilet. So this is massive for Podge if you can get a decent result. So this will be interesting off the start line, because Umbragos and Formula Rye will struggle to get heat into them hard compound tyres. They'll have less grip, and the medium runners will be a lot quicker at the start of this race. The only thing I can think of, Ryan, is that somebody mentioned that there might be rain in the race, so I'm wondering if they've gone hard to try and get to the rain. So they will all line up. Here we go for round 17 here in the Circuit of the Americas. As they all line up, they all wait on the grid patiently, ready for them lights to go out. Please. Here we go for round 17 for Formula 7 racing, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. We said Formula Ride would struggle on them hard compounds, and he is doing. Here comes Bulldog. What about Super Skills on the mediums? He'll go up the inside of turn 1. He'll go into the lead of the Grand Prix. It's an Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris situation as they do collide going in towards turn 1. It is Bulldog that's in the lead of the Grand Prix. Umbragos is down to P2. Super Skills is up to P3. Formula Ride is down 2 places. Podge is still in P5. NMX James is up 3 places into P6. One Kidney Jim stays stationary in P7, and Ifney in the Aston Martin is up 3 places. MSCF Cinders copies him, he's up 3 as well, but he's got the Aston Martin and Forza Ferrari all over his tail. DMB Super Skills on their mediums is trying to attack Umbragos early here, as he's already 1.3 seconds behind Bulldog, the Alpine driver, struggling with them hard compounds. DMB Super Skills on the mediums into the slipstream, and here we go down towards turn 12. Is he going to make it into P2? The Red Bull driver backs out, doesn't go for it, and you've got Formula Rye and NMX James in the Haas driver that goes up the inside of Podge Racing. He's now up 4 places, and Ifney's still up 3. Nimble Kind NDMV are fighting it out as the Racing Bull does have slight damage, I think, and he is down to P15 and Nimble Cat up to P14. Yeah, so 2.5 behind. That is Mad Riot and One Kidney Jim. One Kidney Jim in the Racing Bull has a missing end plate. He's going to have to pit. He's down to P11 after an exceptional start to qualifying. There goes Formula Riot being overtaken again on them hard compounds. He's not here to fight at the moment. He's got his strategy set in stone. And Umbra Ghost and DMB Super Skills are still going at it, but look at the grip the medium compounds has around turn 2 and 3. We go in towards the S's. Umbra Ghost holds on, but they are 3 seconds behind Bulldog already. That is Nimble Cat and NDMV going at it for round 2 as the Ferrari driver goes through. Hodge on the back of the Haas driver. They are building a little bit of a gap to Formula Riot. Them hard compounds are not playing at the moment. DMB Super Skills will have that DRS as they come out of turn 11. And he'll get that DRS as well. This will be easy pickings for the Red Bull driver on the Alpine into the slipstream. DRS enabled. He'll move to the left-hand side. And Super Skills will go up to P2. And he will start to chase down Bulldog in that Mercedes, who's 4 seconds clear already. MSC F1 Cinders up the inside of it, near the Aston Martin, who goes into the back of him, and now Forza Ferrari goes wheel to wheel with his teammate around the outside, and now he will look for a move on that McLaren, and Forza does make the move. He'll go up the inside of turn 15, and Forza Ferrari is there and thereabouts, and he does go through, and up to P8 goes the Aston Martin driver. Bulldog setting the fastest lap, 3.8 clear. Umbra Ghost already 1.3 behind Super Skills. Here comes NMX James with that DRS enabled. They'll go up the hill towards turn 1. But it is the Haas driver that will make the move. Oh, and he tried to turn in early there. The Alpine, he's got a missing end plate. Podges through. The championship contender is into the podium places as he picks up 2 places for 1. As Umbra Ghost does get damage as he tried to turn in a little bit too early for that switchback. No end plate, exactly, Ryan. What about NMX James on Podge? He's got the DRS, but he's just not close enough to try and make that move. But I tell you who is, that is Mad Riot on Formula Riot, but he's gone deep. Formula Riot will come back. SRL Matt with that time penalty. Vicious Vicar is through on Real Aston Army. And Formula Riot now down to P7. These hard compounds are not playing at all here. But the drivers who started on the mediums, they're going to have to go to the hards at some point as well. So Vicious Vicar on at the back of Nimble Cat. They are in P13 and P14. And Bulldog 4.5 seconds clear. He is flying. NMX James in P4. And I'm just going to look at the telemetry. So, yeah, Umbra Ghost, the only driver with damage on the grid at the moment. What about NDMV on SRL Matt? SRL Matt is up to P10. What a start for him. NMX James on pod. Is he close enough to go for it this time? Nope. And he's out of battery as well. Nimble Cat on Doug, NDMV on Matt, and the Racing Bull goes through on the Haas. Oh, and the Haas loses his braking point in his round. The Haas driver couldn't hold on. And off the track he goes, just behind Cinders. So, lap 5 of 28 here. Forza Ferrari getting a good exit out of turn 20. They've both got DRS, but Forza's got that straight line speed up the hill towards turn 1. And the Aston Martin driver into P7. Can Mad Riot switch it back up the inside? He tries the move, but he can't pull it off this time around. NMX James all over the back of that McLaren. But Super Skills and Bulldog have definitely pulled away. Mad Riot and Forza Ferrari, Ifnit are all there. Queuing up behind Formula Riot. Is he starting to feel them hard compounds now? Let's have a look at what the tyres are saying. So their mediums are already roughly between 25 and 31%. And the hard compounds are around 15. So, interesting stuff. That is Vicious Vicar on Nimblecat with that DRS enabled. The Ferrari driver will try and go around the outside. But it is the Williams that is through. Umbragos, considering he's got a missing end plate, he's doing well to stay in P5. He knows that he can't hit yet, because that will be the end to this Grand Prix for him. The two Aston Martins in P8 and P9, doing a terrific job at the moment. NMX James being very patient in P4. Bulldog 4.4 clear of Super Skills. Through the S's. This is big points for Podge. Let me just have a look at the championship. So at the moment, 38 points separate Podge and Theo. In the drivers, in the constructors, it is extremely close. The top 4 are separated by 21 points. That is it. McLaren, Alpine, Sauber, Red Bull. You can even throw Williams and Mercedes in there. They're not even too far behind. In fact, that's not the right point system. I do apologise. That's the old point system because I had to change it for realistic. So yeah, apologies. That is Ifnir. That is through on his teammate. So the Aston Martin swap around again. So the Aston Martin of Ifnit through on his teammate of Forza Ferrari. NMX James is still eyeing up that move on Podge up towards turn 1, and that is Vicious Vicar that is into the pit lane on them mediums. He's going for an early stop here, maybe going to go for the hards until the rain comes potentially, we don't know. I'm having a look at the weather system and I can't see anything yet. I mean, there's definitely something, because the chances of rain are 14%. They would usually be 0 as we ride on board with NMX James, and that is Nimblecat that is out through the S's. Nimblecat in the Ferrari is out, and that is a safety car on lap 7. What has happened to Nimble? Is this an opportunity for all of the medium runners to get onto them hard compounds? Obviously, an opportunity for Umbra Ghost to get that front wing repaired. The one thing I do worry about now is the two Aston Martins. They are both on the same strategy. They will both go into the pit lane, but they're going to double stack, and Forza could lose a few positions here. But that gap that Super Skills had is now all gone, as the safety car is out. Even, oh, Umbra Ghost stays out. Umbra Ghost is staying out. Right, here we go. The two Aston Martin drivers. They are going to double stack. If Nick goes in, Forza Ferrari is already there. And it's not too bad, actually. He's probably lost a second and a half. And NDMV was 2 behind, so it will be close. And NDMV does come out just in front of Forza, so he's not lost that much. Umbra Ghost and Formula I have stayed out on them hard compounds. I'm surprised we didn't see Umbra go in with that damage to the front wing. He's got a little bit of degrade into that front left tyre. Well, this has just thrown a spanner in the works here. The problem is, like Doug and Cinders, they've pitted for their mediums, but how long will the mediums go for? Really annoying for Vicious Vic, who just pitted. .8 stop for Forza Ferrari. So SRL Matt also out. Safety car is in this lap. We will go back racing. And it's as you were. Umbra Ghost in P1, Formula Ryan P2, Bulldog P3 and Super Skills P4, Podge P5. As you were, I think, from the start of this Grand Prix. It is, yeah. Oh, what's going on there? There's a little bit of confusion going on. There's a few places changing. And the drivers, hopefully nobody got a little bit of damage from that. Umbra Ghost will lead the safety car restart with damage. When's he going to go? And off he goes now. That's a good. That is a brilliant safety car restart, even with damage. Formula Rye, all the other drivers, NMX James on the back of Podge. So up towards turn 1. Oh, it's close. It's very close. Doug, Cinders, One Kinney Jim, Vicious Vicar, the real Ashton Armick. Umbra Ghost stays in the lead. Formula Rye P2, Bulldog in P3. Oh, look at this. That's the Red Bull trying to go for a move on the Mercedes there. And Formula Rye knows that Umbra Ghost has damage. He's going to go for it. Wheel to wheel go. P1 and P2. Umbra Ghost gets the better exit. And into the slipstream goes the Ferrari. He's going to go for it again. And the Scuderia moves into the lead of the Grand Prix. What about Bulldog? Is he going to try his luck as well? No, not this time. He's not. There goes Bulldog around Umbra Ghost. He's now struggling with that missing end plate. And they're all queuing up to take turns behind him. Formula Rye moves into the lead. Remember, these two have not pitted. That is Podge on Super Skills, the wheel to wheel P4 and P5, the Red Bull and the McLaren. And Podge will go up the inside and up to P4. What a move from the championship contender. Mad Riot has Ifnit all over him like a rash. DRS is now enabled again. Ifnit just slots in behind the Williams driver. NDMV is there. Super Skills, Podge, Umbra Ghost, Bulldog, Formula Rye is your race leader on lap 11 as he goes wide there, loses the back end. Ifnit and Mad Riot going at it for round 2 and round 3. Mad Riot is back through on him, in towards the S's we go, and the Williams driver with a spectacular overtake. Formula Riot picks up a time penalty. The Aston Martin trying to respond to the Williams of Mad Riot. Can he do it? So, Podge. Oh, and he goes late on the brakes. Nearly into the back of Umbra Ghost. Formula Rye with a time penalty. You've got Bulldog with that DRS now. That is Cinders and Doug. And that is Vicious Vicar and the real Ashton Army. Forza and NDMV going at it into turn 15. Not somewhere where you see a lot of overtakes. And NDMV just having to back out slightly. Look at how close the front runners are though. Podge, Super Skills, NMX James, Mad Riot, Ifnit. Oh, right on top of each other, and that was Super Skills that might have got a better exit as Podge had to slow down because of Umbra Ghost in front. Bulldog is into the lead. He's 1.2 clear now. Oh, and he goes a little bit wide. That is Forza and NDMV. And here comes Cinders in the McLaren around the outside. And Racing Bull who goes a little bit deep. And that could have ended in disaster for the Papaya. So, Ferrari, Williams, McLaren, Red Bull, Haas, One Kinney Jim picking up a time penalty. Bulldog once again starting to take off as he did before the safety car. Ifnit and Mad Riot. And The Aston Martin did go in front of the Williams, but now here comes Mad Riot. He's trying to go left and he's trying to go right, and they both got DRS and they are weaving like crazy. And is that Mad Riot just getting a bit tasty there with the Aston Martin driver, who just switches it back up the inside. This is phenomenal racing from the pair of them. They will go in. The Aston Martin driver will have to go a little bit wider, as Mad Riot is just not letting this go in towards turn 15. Will the Williams try and switch it back up the inside? He does. Gets a good exit, but the Aston Martin driver can correct himself a little bit quicker and just stay in front in P7. This is brilliant to watch. Sorry, guys. Mad Riot and Ifnit still going at it. Oh no, it's Forza Ferrari this time. He's already been battling with one Aston Martin. Now the other wants a chance at him. Oh, Mao Nimble crashed out through the S's, unfortunately. Mad Riot picks up a time penalty. So does Ifnit. Wow, they are knocking him up now. Collecting them like a basketball game. 3-pointers everywhere. Here comes Podge, and he'll get that DRS. There he goes, it kicks in. Podge on Umbra Ghost round the outside, and the McLaren driver is up to P3 and into the podium places. Mad Riot, Forza Ferrari. Oh, and that is Mad Riot is off. The Williams driver is off the track and down to P12. He's having a good race, Mad Riot, up until that point. Bulldog with a time penalty. Bulldog 3.5 clear. Fascinating Grand Prix. We're only halfway through. The clouds have started to form above. When is this rain going to arrive? If this rain arrives. Yeah, you're right. Ryan's still on the old tyre nimble. So is Umbra Ghost. I'm just going to have a look now. But Umbra Ghost's hard tyre after 14 laps is only on 30%. It's incredible. What is going on there? Who is that in front? And that was the Haas of NMX James. And there goes DMB Super Skills on Umbra Ghost, who does have them old hard tyres and does have wing damage. He has a mission end plate. Ifney on his teammate. So rain is definitely expected. At the start of this race, my telemetry was saying 14% rain. It's now saying 74%. So it is imminent. And that is NMX James. No, it's Umbra Ghost into the pit lane. Surely you stay out if the rain's due. It says his hards are only on 30% as well, which is strange. Or was I looking at the wrong person? He does have front wing damage. He's on the intermediates. Surely that's a bit early. It's raining. We called it. We said the rain was imminent. Did he get that front wing changed as well? I don't think he did. He didn't. He didn't get the front wing changed. He's saying 79% chance of rain now from the 14% at the start of the race. Yeah, it is. It's definitely raining. There's sprinkles on the camera lens. So Bulldog leads. Yeah. But he's gone very, very early there, Umbra, for intermediates. I know he's got damage, but surely he can't go yet. Ifney and Cinders. And it's Podge on Formula Right, who's still yet to pit as well. I still think Umbra's gone very early here. The rain isn't that bad. In fact, I can't even see the rain anymore. No, I can't see it. NMX James with a 3-second time penalty. 6.8 is the gap to Bulldog. He is on fire. So, looking at this, here comes Podge around the outside of Formula Right. And Formula Right, and the McLaren and the Ferrari, and that is Podge that goes up to P2. The Ferrari driver will go around the outside. You've got DMB Super Skills as well. Formula Right is going to go up the inside of turn 15. The McLaren of Podge having to give him the space. They do go side by side. And it is Podge that comes out in front. That is NMX James on Formula Rye as well now. Oh, that's tasty. NMX James and Formula Rye getting very acquainted with each other. Real Tsunamis into the pit lane. I cannot see that rain now. And my forecast has stopped at 85%. It's not moved for a lap or two. And you've got Umbra Ghost on intermediates. Fascinating Grand Prix, it really is, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Forza Ferrari on Ifnit. Oh, needed that, bro. Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot in P11 and P12. They need to think about the constructors here. The two Williams drivers, I'm sure they're leading it. Formula Rye is still holding out on them hard compounds, you know. Yeah, rain is imminent, Nimble. Definitely. On my system, it's saying 86%. Oh, and look at that, he goes deep. And NMX James with the switchback. And the Haas at their home Grand Prix. Putting on a home display, wow. How have they both survived that? And the two Aston Martins, there is no love lost between the two teammates. And that is Ifney in front of Forza, and they, who both started in Tier 2 at the start of the season, now down to Tier 3, racing side by side as teammates. So NMX James with slight front wing damage. Here he comes again up the inside of the Scuderia. The Ferrari goes later on the brakes, does turn in, and the Haas driver not leaving any space there. The Ferrari's there. Oh, and the Ferrari goes up the inside, and these two. It's getting very spicy on track, and that is Ifni that's round, and Forza Ferrari is through, and so is Cinders. Drivers starting to make a few little mistakes now. Here is the rain. The rain is finally here. And NMX James trying to get through Formula I, who is now 13 seconds behind the lead, but he is going to go into the pit lane and finally get off them hard compounds, and Cinders will follow him in. Yeah, there's a few drivers in there. Rain is just heavy straight away. And the track already looks greasy, and it's only been raining for half a lap. So, Bulldog to Pods to Super Skills. Yeah, look at the track already. These drivers need to get in on them intermediates. Who pitted for them intermediates early? Formula I is going to be in a good position. Here comes Vicious Vicar on Doug, the Williams driver, around the outside. You don't want to ride that curve too much in the rain. DRS is already disabled. I tell you what, Formula I and Cinders might be in a very good position here. The drivers have got to get into this pit lane yet. Bulldog is in. So all of the drivers are now into the pits. And you know what? The two Aston Martins are going to have to double stack again, but this time it's the other way round. Forza will go first and then Ifni. And they're a lot closer this time. He's going to lose a lot more time than Forza did. But they've got a pretty decent gap. Here comes Formula I. And he will come out in front of NMX James again. So it did work, but not as much as I thought it would. But they will have heat into them intermediate tyres already. And that will help them out. Because the drivers behind won't have that heat yet. Here comes Doug and Mad Riot. Vicious Vicar on one kidney Jim. Bulldog 10 seconds clear. So the rain has arrived with 8 laps to go. NMX James has still got wing damage, by the way. So's Umbra Ghost. Umbra now up to P9. So the Haas at their home Grand Prix, trying to hold on to P5, but you've got Forza Ferrari up the inside. In towards turn 15, can he switch it back? In towards turn 16 and 17 we go. Very closely matched on track. In towards 19. Yeah, the Haas and the Aston Martin do have a slight touch. And the Aston Martin does leave the space for the Haas on the inside, and it is a great overtake that. And remember, no DRS. Bulldog picks up a time penalty. That'd be costly if he was any closer, but he's 12 seconds clear. That is one kidney Jim on the back of Doug. He's going to go up the inside. Oh, and he's collided with him. He went for the move. And he just went a little bit too aggressive there. That is close up. Hodge is in a good position though. P2, his championship rival's not here. And up the inside it goes. One kidney Jim on Doug. Wheel to wheel again, go the pair of them. It's a good move that around the outside. That's brilliant stuff from Jim in that racing boat. Super Skill starting to catch up to Podge a little bit. Only 9/10 is the gap. Podge will not want to be overtaken by the Red Bull because it is vital points. It's the difference between 25 and 22 points. And he is starting to catch up to him. 2 attempts now. Is Podge starting to struggle in the rain with 5 laps to go. Yeah, it is nearly storm weather. The rain is treacherous now, and this will make driving even more difficult. Podge knows he just needs to hold on to this position. Forza has caught back up to Formula Right. And there's a few positions still to be made on this circuit. Just looking at the time, so we're going to be finished about 10:05 to 12. I need to update everything quickly, and I do have somebody working in the house as well. So there goes Forza Ferrari up the inside of Formula Right. He's going to take P4. The Ferrari driver goes deep, and the Aston Martin will go up the inside, and that is fantastic from Forza Ferrari. Brilliantly executed the switchback there. What about DMB Super Skills? Is he any closer to taking this position away from Podge? Ifnit on Cinders. "14 seconds to the leader, who's been nothing short of flawless in this race. It's been a great display of racing ability from the Mercedes driver. Definitely a strong track for him. Umbra Ghost had the pace to be right there as well, but his strategy, his decisions and his damage all put a stop to that. So for the Ferrari is on the hunt to catch Super Skills and Podge now. Oh, that's One Kidney Jim on Mad Riot. He will go up the inside. He'll go later on the brakes. The Racing Bull. Wheel to wheel, side by side with the Williams driver. Mad Riot. You've got NDMV doing the same thing with Doug behind. Well, Mad Riot and One Kidney Jim. Mad Riot just about stays in front, but they'll go into turn 15 and the Racing Bull will have the inside line as he does. And then through he goes back onto the throttle and the Racing Bull is up to P10. Umbra goes, remember, on them older intermediate tyres and with damage. His intermediates on roughly 40%, so here should be easy pickings for One Kidney Jim and potentially even Mad Riot. Look at the weather, it's so slippery out there. Yeah, definitely nimble. Yeah, no penalties. Yeah, that is Ifnit on Cinders. And the Aston Martin driver is through and up to P7. He gets his foot down in the straight line speed, but Cinders will slot into the slipstream of the Aston Martin. Look at that, clever racing. But then as he moves back out, the Aston Martin using that battery and the straight line speed to his advantage to stay in front in P7. And nothing Cinders can do about that one. One Kidney Jim here on Umbra Ghost. He will do the exact same thing into the slipstream, but he'll go for the inside line himself on this one. Down in towards turn 12. The Racing Bull is through on the Alpine, but for how long? The Alpine will come back at him. Remember, the Alpine driver, older, intermediate tyres and a missing end plate. He does run wide. The Racing Bull is through. Can he keep it as they go in towards turn 15? The Alpine tries to defend. He goes late on the brakes, but he can't keep it. And One Kidney Jim is through. What about Mad Riot? Can he now eye up a move? NMX James on Formula Right. Oh, he picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think DMB Super Skills is waiting for the perfect opportunity before the end of this race to take this position. So here he comes into the slipstream. And Podge defends again. Bulldog with a time penalty. Can Podge hold on? 2.5 laps to go. I think it's got to be the last lap. Oh, here comes Forza. Forza Ferrari has come from out of nowhere. Remember, Forza does have a time penalty though. So what does Super Skills do here? Because this is going to cost him time to Podge. If he starts to fight for the Aston Martin, and I think Super Skills have been waiting for an opportunity to have a crack at that McLaren at the end of this race. But with Forza Ferrari now with them, this could throw a spanner in the works. So Forza, Bulldog coming around turn 15, 14.8 seconds clear. NDMV with a 3-second time penalty. Ifney, look at that, and Ifney all over the back of NMX James. On the ride, trying to stay in P5. Super Skills now 8 tenths behind Podge. Has he lost that opportunity to go for the overtake? And Bulldog so far clear. It's a quite remarkable race from him. So we are on the final lap of the Grand Prix. NMX James picks up another time penalty. Here comes Forza Ferrari on Super Skills. Super Skills, instead of attacking, is now having to defend. Forza does have a time penalty though. But I think that has saved Podge from potentially losing an extra position. Bulldog coming down towards turn 12. Forza Ferrari will go up the inside of DMB Super Skills. And the Aston Martin driver, regardless, is ready to fight. And here comes the Red Bull on the Aston Martin once more. But it will be Forza that stays ahead. He will still take a podium here, Super Skills. I would love to interview these top three, but I've got to shoot off like pretty rapidly straight after this now. So Bulldog will come through, and Bulldog wins the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix here in Austin, Texas, to take the race victory. Podge in the McLaren, the championship contender, takes an extremely confident P2, and then it is Super Skills that finishes on the podium in P3. Forza Ferrari P4, Formula Rai in at P5, it's Ifney in P5, Formula Rai in P6. Umbragos, who started on pole position, will hobble to the line. Yeah, great result. Yeah, unbelievable race. Right, I'll go through the standings. I've got to shoot off. It's 5 to 12. I need to get the other guys onto the account. To set up for tier 2, I need to update all the standings and post them before I go into the race myself. So well done, everybody. So let's go through the standings. So Bulldog is your race winner. I need to put this down. Then you have Podge in P2 and then Super Skills in P3. You have Forza Ferrari P4, Ifney P5, Formula Ryan P6, NMX James in P7, Cinders in P8, Umbra Ghost P9, Wonkinage in P10, Mad Riot P11, NDMV in P12, Vicious Vicar in P13, Doug in P14, Real Aston Army in P15, SRL Mac P16, and Nimble Cat in P17. Driver of the day. There's so many things here, but it can't be anybody else but Bulldog. It was an absolutely flawless performance. Yeah, right, okay guys, it is 5 to 12. I'm going to have to shoot off so we can get tier 2 up and running and so I can post everything before tier 2. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. Thank you to the drivers and good luck if you're racing in tier 2. If not, I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys.